For those who don't know, I grew up in Portugal, more precisely on an island called Madeira. My best friend still lives there, and he asked me this year which phone do I recommend, the Pixel 9 Pro XL or the iPhone 16 Pro Max. If you have seen this comparison, you might think that I end up recommending him the Pixel because that's my favorite, but you will be wrong, because I end up recommending the iPhone for the simple reason that it's a phone that will last him many years, with an excellent screen, great performance, very capable cameras, and a system that will give you a good experience for years. I still think this phone had a terrible launch, and for me, it's quite boring, but for someone that comes from an iPhone 12 or older, it's not, and that's the reality we have to face. Because as a YouTuber that try every iPhone every year, well, that's not the standard. And look, it's been a month since I started using it, and I had the opportunity to also try some of the features that I did not in my original review. And yeah, I'm talking about Apple Intelligence, which currently only works in English, but if you become a developer, you can also test the most recent version. With iOS 18.1, you can actually try some things of Apple Intelligence, but with iOS 18.2 is where you will find the best features. To start, we can take a look at the notifications that are now summarized. In my case, it doesn't work very well because I receive many of them in Spanish, but those in English appear with this summary. The same thing happens in Mail, where you will see the same summary icon right here. And when you open any email, you can also ask it to give you a summary, which works quite well, honestly, although you can't ask any questions about it. Something similar happens when you want to summarize a web page on Safari, which you do from here. The summary is fine, but it would be great if we were able to ask questions. But going back to Mail, when you press reply, the system itself offers an auto reply options. These responses tend to be very basic and sometimes poorly formatted. However, if you select a text and then tap on writing tools or this icon, you will see that it gives you a lot more options to change the text quickly or to request something specific, although it will do it with ChatGPT, as you can see here. And let's just say that the quality difference is overwhelming, although, there's still a few bugs like this previous text that just stay there and I couldn't delete. In the Photos apps, you now have the option to create an album based on a theme. But let's say that the results still need a lot of improvement. We also have the option to remove elements from a picture, which it's something that I've seen already on Android, and right here, well, it does the job. The idea behind each of these tools, I think it's cool and very useful, but at the same time, I don't feel that they're 100% polished. And again, I still believe that the best features will come with iOS 18.2, where you will be able to hold the camera button to open visual intelligence, so that when you take a photo, it can tell you right away the breed of your dog, or even find a certain product that you're seeing right now. When talking to Siri, you will see this cool animation from iOS 18.1. And if you double tap here, you can type instead of talk. But with iOS 18.2, you can also connect it to ChatGPT, so let's try a few examples.
Hey Siri, how's the weather today?
Expect some clear skies today.
Can you describe the general weather in California?
It's currently clear and 62 degrees in Sacramento, California.
Can you describe the general weather in California using ChatGPT?
Here's an answer, ChatGPT.
Please create a training regimen for a 32-year-old who works out at home with a Smith cage machine.
I'll need to use ChatGPT to write that. Should I go ahead? Here's an answer, ChatGPT.
What are the latest products from Apple?
I found this on the web.
What are the latest products from Apple using ChatGPT?
Here's an answer, ChatGPT.
As you have seen, sometimes it knows it needs to ask ChatGPT to give you the answer, other times it doesn't and it gives you the typical Siri answer. And if you ask him precisely to give you the response using ChatGPT, it will always do it. There are other features that I haven't tried, like the image playground in order to create images with AI, or Genmoji in order to create your own emojis. But the idea that I get about all this is that I don't understand why Apple kept Apple Intelligence to the latest iPhones or even the iPhone 15 Pro when all of this seems quite basic. Well, I kinda know. Also, over this past month, I've been using the iPhone with the case and a screen protector. So on the back and on the sides, I haven't seen any scratches or dings, although, I do see small screen scratches that happen maybe in the first week of use. So if you don't have Apple Care, well, I would suggest protecting it a bit. But one funny thing that also happened during these days is that whenever I'm using the iPhone and switch to the Pixel, I notice the size difference. And yeah, I know the difference between them is like tiny 0.1 inches, but yeah, I still feel the difference every time that I hold the iPhone. And another thing that I really like about the screen is the minimum brightness. We always talk about, like using it outdoors and how bright it is, but if you're in bed, apparently it can go down to 1 nit of brightness, which is great for scrolling on threads. Could it be better? Yeah, if it was like the Galaxy S24 Ultra that doesn't allow so many reflexes, but how it is right now, it's great. And for everything else, it's just a phone that works. The battery life, for instance, is flawless, and recently it has been lasting me about 2 days of use, although I do use it alongside the Pixel. It's the best battery life that I've tried on a phone this year, so improving the charging speed is the only thing they have left to do. As for performance-wise, well, I don't feel anything different. I don't notice any improvement over the past generation, and the system just flows as it should. Since I don't play much with it, I haven't experienced any heating issues, not even when I was using it with my sim. It's a phone that just works, and it will give you a great experience every day, as long as you use it with the Apple ecosystem. The main reason I took out the SIM from the iPhone and I put it on the Pixel is because the experience of typing in multiple languages is much better on Android. And when I upload photos to my PC, it keeps freezing on me. In the past, I always preferred taking photos and videos with the iPhone because, the results were much better, but nowadays, my followers actually prefer the Pixel results. So I end up recording more with it too. I know not everyone types in 3 languages, and if you have an iPhone, you probably also use Mac, but that's my experience, and with the Pixel, I don't have those issues. Besides, you may have noticed that I haven't mentioned anything about the camera control, and that's because, personally, I haven't used it. I've tried it more times with visual intelligence than for actually opening the camera app. But even then, I can say that this phone is one of the best of the years, while at the same time, is one of my biggest disappointments. If it had Apple Intelligence since day one, completed, like all the features that they presented on the keynote, my opinion might be different, but right now it's like an iPhone 15s Pro. And if you have an iPhone 12 or older, I would understand why would you change, but if not, just wait, because you can get a better phone next year with Apple Intelligence and all the features that they promise. But anyway, that's just my opinion, and if you have a different one, you can leave it in the comments, or if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!